clearly got the wood over El Hindi. Probably the most improved player on the tour in the last 12 months, risen up the rankings. Very, very confident man. Has a individual dress style, as we can see there with the cut-off sleeves. Flamboyant player. No doubt they play a lot, practice a lot together. I think interesting point, Chris, would be Amir's been out for a while with an injury, a wrist injury. First big event back. He's obviously got through to the semi-final, but this is probably the test that will tell us how his form is.
Yeah, Amir Shabana, as you say, back from a wrist injury, which he picked up at the World Team Championships, where Egypt were a little bit disappointing. Only finished in 4th place. There was the absence, though, of Rami Ashur in that particular tournament.
Yeah, both players were very disappointed with that event for Egypt. A lot of stock goes into the World Team Championships, but now it's an individual situation. Amir, world #1. He wants to start the year off the same way he ended it, in very, very dominant form. He's got off to a bit of a flyer here as well. Oh, there's a nice hold there from El Hindi, renowned for his ability to change the direction of the ball. Very deceptive. And great use of the wrist.
He's a pretty big, strong guy as well. He's about 6'3". Can dominate the court as well, can't he?
Yeah, he's good across the middle. Plays very tall, stands up very upright. Drops the wrist down to the ball. There we saw it on the forehand drop. Very difficult to read. Quick feet. Worked a lot with Jonah Barrington in the south of England. Got himself very fit. And like I said, really moved up the rankings and now is a genuine contender in quarters and semi-finals against the best players in the world.
Yeah, it's pulled it back to 2-all here. Shabana making a decent start, but El Hindi back into the match now in this first game. And picking up another point, so he's gone ahead now for the first time. Well, El Hindi, who did pretty well at this tournament last year, the Canadian Classic, was a semi-finalist here in the previous season. And as you say, fairly regular appearance in the quarterfinals. There are 5 of the top 10 in the world playing here at this tournament. David Palmer, the big gun that went out early, going out in the first round to Australian Cameron Pilley.
Yeah, that's a big upset for David Palmer going out first round. It does show the strength of the tour nowadays. A lot more upsets. It's tough for these top players to get through to the final positions. But both these players have been very consistent over the last 12 months. Amir at #1 and El Hindi in the top 8, top 10 type of bracket. But what I like about El Hindi's game is he does really mix the pace up a lot. We see it there with the lifting. He'll soak the balls up if need be. He can play fast. Obviously, just lacks a little bit of the finishing power sometimes to get across the victory line. We've certainly got the respect of Amir here.
Well, both keeping it pretty tight to the side wall, just sussing each other out, I think, at the moment. Although, as you say, they will have played each other a lot over the years. Both the same sort of age as well, in their late 20s.
Yeah, they have. They've played numerous times, and the Egyptian culture as well, Chris, is to play a lot. There's a lot of match play, a lot of interaction between the top players. Yeah, just a lack of patience maybe from El Hindi. Type of sign that Shabana might be looking for. The first one to crack when you have the slow ball rally.
Yes, left. 4-3 from the left.
Both players maybe not overly happy with that decision. El was hoping that Amir was going to go cross court, but he stayed straight. As you said, very cagey from both players. Amir, I think, is wanting to play himself into this game. Normally gets the ball in a little bit earlier, shorter. I think that was a characteristic of his game last season that was very impressive, Chris. He was rallying a lot more patient as world #1, a lot more selective. And here, El was very selective. Beautiful cut backhand volley into the neck. And Amir didn't bother chasing it. And there's the response.
5-4.
And El Hindi appreciates that. He's a little bit annoyed as well, didn't react to it.
certainly holding his own at the moment. Shabana, of course, is famously a left-handed player. El Hindi's not. Does that affect the way he approaches it at all?
Well, yeah, a little bit. I think both players generally would want to rally down their backhand wall, and that's a different wall because they're obviously left and right-handed. So you'll get a lot of cross-court balls. You've got a lot of turning of the play, and it does upset the normal rhythm. But again, there's some pretty good left-handers have been around for a while. Peter Nicol was around for a long time. Obviously, Amir's around. Lawrence Angemar from Holland. So I think the top players are getting used to that more and more.
5-4 from the right.
And I think that's one of the reasons Amir can be very difficult for these top players to play, because he has such a high level and he is left-handed. I think that does cause a few issues at times.
Well, much of the talk these days is of Rami Ashour, a very hot young talent, also from Egypt, currently the world #2, that we'll see in the other semi-final here in Toronto. But Amir Shabana continues to dominate. 7 PSA Tour victories in 2007, and recently voted the PSA Player of the Year yet again for his achievements last season.
Wow, it was a phenomenal end of the year that Amir played and seemed to win everything. And he answered lots of challenges. He was tired in various stages of those events and still came through with victories, and that's a sign of a great player. Just missed the cross-court drop. But it's up to him this year to dominate again. And people like El here and Rami and Gregory Gaultier and James Willstrop, even the aging David Palmer, are going to ask a lot of questions. First rally with a little bit of intent.
Yep, level pegging in this first game. Picking the pace up now. Nothing to choose between them, but Shabana just wins that one and edges ahead 6-5.
Shabana leads 6-5 in the first game.
So Shabana just ahead. The head-to-head record between these two is 7-2 in favour of Amir Shabana. But last time they met, it was a victory for Wael El Hindi. It was only just recently. Shabana's first tournament back from injury in Egypt, the Ali Open squash. They both got to the final, and El Hindi took a surprise 3-1 victory in that, so that will boost his confidence, no doubt, and he's certainly holding his own in this first game. Shabana only just ahead, but El Hindi playing pretty well, Chris Robertson.
Yeah, he's always going to be very competitive. His form would say that. His world ranking says that. I'm not sure how much value we can take to the event in Egypt. I think Amir would have looked at that as a comeback event. I think this is the test today for both players. But I think the simple fact is that they play a lot together. They know each other's games, very, very well. That will always mean a tough contest. But Amir, the belief is a very, very important factor. El Hindi needs to get into a situation where he can actually believe a victory is possible. And just a little gap has opened up now. Amir is so used to making the right decisions at 5-all in games, making these breaks to 8-5, and then it's very, very difficult for the lower ranked player to bring it back.
Ball was good. Hand out, 6-8.
A little debate between the players about the validity of the ball being up. A little bit of humour, which is lovely to see. I'm not sure if Amir's laughing or grimacing there. Next rally might tell us which one it is. Nice length there from Amir. Then attack the front of the court. Good mobility there from El Hindi. Oh, and that was a little bit soft considering he did so well to stay in the rally.
Yeah, did all the hard work, moved around the court well, and then was too soft on the attempted drop shot. So Shabana edging towards the first game here at 9-6.
And really, since about 5-all, the intensity's picked up a lot, Chris. Amir, I think, has felt comfortable with the way he was striking the ball and what was going on, and decided to increase the tempo.
7-9.
And that is something that everyone at home can learn. Some point you have to try and take the game away from your opponent. You can't always just sit back and hope it's going to be okay. And the great players seem to know when to pick the tempo up and take the odd chance. Might be proved wrong here now if he hits them all on the tin, but that's what seemed to happen at 5-all. And again, we see the rally down the right-hand wall, which is Amir's backhand side. You would tend to think El Hindi might cross that ball with a hard forehand every now and again to utilise it. And that's a little bit soft.
8-9.
Yep, down from Shabana. Oh, Hindi still hanging on in there.
It seems like the crowd are very much behind the underdog.
Well, Shabana's route to the semi-final hasn't really told us too much about how rusty or not rusty he is after his couple of months off with that wrist injury.
Down.
Bit rusty at the moment, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone a little bit AWOL, to be fair. He's not happy with that. You can see him shaking his head. Some concentrated squash to get the lead and really some poor stuff to bring it back. And it's the type of game that if El Hindi took, he really would be nicking it. And again, a little bit of intent now from Amir. A bit more in the striking, a bit more positive. Stepping in on the volley.
Yes, let. 9-all from the left.
Yeah, pretty obvious let there. Hindi trying to get to the ball, but no way past Shabana. Stays at 9-all.
9-all left.
Now Hindi to serve. This next point's going to be crucial.
Nice defensive drive there from El Hindi. He was under some trouble there with the crashing forehand volley. And here comes the intent. You wouldn't be long. That's his natural instinct, is to attack.
Yes, let. 9-all from the left.
The game's sort of crying out for a little bit of continuity. Haven't really seen a lot of it. This was a good rally from Amir, though. Had El Hindi hitting the corners. And there, just couldn't get out of the way early enough to allow the access to be clear. The referee had to call a let. From there, Amir could have dominated the rally again. Oh, nice drive, triple boast. A nice flick up there from El. Read it well. Shot they obviously play against each other a lot. And another let.
Yes, let. 9-all from the left.
Here's slow-mo. Crowd's not happy with that decision.
50-50.
Yeah, minimal. Again, it's very clever there from El, trying to make a bit of light humour out of it. So the referee maybe doesn't doubt the decision too much.
Seems when the pace picks up a bit and there's a bit more intensity, El Hindi's not quite so comfortable as when it's patient. He's rushing it a little bit.
Well,
isn't he?
exactly. He likes to slow the game down a little bit, and he likes to sort of play at his tempo. He's very used to playing long matches. Got himself quite fit. Amir got a lucky ball at the back to get game ball going here, though.
Yes, let. He would have gone to that ball if he hadn't been there. 10-9 from the right.
This is a
Yes,
door
let.
opener.
What did I do wrong here? He didn't do anything wrong. You backed into him. He could have gone to that ball.
That's a good explanation from the referee there. He didn't do anything wrong per se. It's just a let. And El does have a little bit of a reputation for having long matches and getting in the way quite a bit. I don't think we've seen any evidence of that here so far.
So, game point for Shabana at 10-9, this opening game of the semi-final.
Another patient rally. You get the feeling that El Hindi's not going to really pick the tempo up too much. It has to be Amir.
Seems to be his game plan, doesn't it?
There we go with a bit of the forehand to try and get a little bit of something going, turn it across. El Hindi's prepared to play it up on the other wall. Oh, but he went.
Game Shabana.
Yeah.
11-9.
Gave that one away, really. Shabana then takes the first. 11-9, but it's pretty tight out there.
Shabana leads 1 game to love.
So, start of the second game in this semi-final. Amir Shabana. As I mentioned earlier, I haven't really been able to glean too much from the performances in the earlier rounds as to just how fit or how rusty he is after coming back from that wrist injury. He beat Canada's Matthew Giffre in round 1, who's ranked 59th in the world. Fairly comfortable at 3-0. And then he played against Mohamed Abbas in the quarter-final from Egypt. And that one was pretty tight. In the fourth game then, Abbas pulled out injured. So had a bit of an easier run through to the semi-finals.
And I don't think we gleaned too much from the first game either, Chris, to be honest with you. We really didn't have a lot of continuity. The odd attacking shot from Amir, but we didn't really see the typical brilliance.
And they both made 3 or 4 pretty sloppy mistakes as well, didn't they, in that game? That first
Yeah,
game.
I'm sure it'll pick up here a little bit now and get going, but at the end of the day, Amir's won the first game, so he needs to keep continuing there. We see a little bit more brilliance, a little bit of front court activity. Nice angle there. Amir saw it but couldn't deal with it. And the onus will now be on El Hindi to start attacking a little bit more, being 1 love down. We see a little bit of evidence of that. Some volleys, early short ball.
2-1.
Yeah, honest call there from Amir. I think he's saying he scooped this. Either that or he's resting, one or the other.
And out.
There's certainly a fair amount of respect between these two, and I don't think we'll see too many gripes and niggles in this match.
No, you can see that they've already had a couple of little chats, and there's a respect. Will go both ways. But El definitely much more aggressive. There's a lot of debate going on here, though. Obviously, we're not privy to it, but...
Best shot I've ever played. No, it's not.
Oh, this is a good door opener, though, Chris.
Play on, Mr.
Again,
Handy.
good sense of humour there. Let's see this shot. Oh, that's a pretty good shot. You might have a little bit of a
Yeah, it's got a point there.
I think he's got a point there. It's pretty tight as well. But certainly more aggressive. I don't think we're going to see the same slow ball tactics all the way through the game. I think he's got to force the game into Amir to see how rusty he is, to see what his movement's like. Oh. He's got to be better than that, taking the ball forward, though.
3-2.
He's enjoying his semi-final appearance. He is the strong underdog in this one. 7 tour victories, as I mentioned, to Shabana last season. There were just 2 major semi-final appearances for Wael El Hindi in 2007. No finals for him, although he did win the Heliopolis Rotary Open, which was in Egypt, a smaller tournament. Recent form for Shabana was excellent before his injury. Of course, he won the World Open at Bermuda. He also won at Qatar, and he won at Saudi. So form coming into that injury was very, very good, and no reason to expect that to have diminished at all. But there's always that little doubt when you've had a couple of months off.
Yeah, just getting used to the pace and the intensity, making the right decisions at the right time. All the things that come with playing squash matches. But certainly that was a mishit forehand volley kill. People are clapping, but I can guarantee you he didn't mean this ball to go around the sideball. He meant it to go in the neck. So it is scrappy, and sometimes that's what happens when both players aren't really on top form. I would expect the game to get better, and there's a little bit more class. And El Hindi at the moment, Chris, is just really offering the front of the court up a little bit too easily. Amir looks like he's pretty much coasting at the moment. He does really need to maybe pick the intensity up a little bit, get some better balls going to the back of the court before he worries about chinking it short.
Bit more aggression from Shabana in this game as well, isn't there?
Yeah, from both players there tends to be a little bit more. That's a good guess. That's a good dive.
Good reactions there from the world number 1.
Well, people enjoyed that. He just stood there. He wasn't going anywhere.
Good effort. Shabana has just got the edge, though, in this second game of the semi-final.
And 1 game to love.
Well, Amir Shabana, the world number 1, he's cruising a little bit at the moment. He's certainly not playing at his best. He's not having to, because in this second game, the door has been left open on quite a few occasions by his opponent, that man, Wael El Hindi. It was tight in that first game. The score's fairly tight in this one, but Shabana has had his nose in front all the way. Take 5.
Yeah, not really been challenged. 5-all in the first. Did get a little bit closer in the end of the first game, but He has looked pretty comfortable. I've got the feeling, really, if he needs to step it up, he can, Chris. And I'm a little bit disappointed that El's not been able to offer a little bit more going back.
Yeah, I would have thought this is the chance that you've got to beat Shabana when he's back from his injury, and El Hindy's not been playing too bad. Got to the quarterfinals of the Tournament of Champions where he lost to Rami Ashur. More match fitness. But he's letting Shabana, to an extent, play his own game, letting him control it.
Yeah, that was a better rally, though. Certainly both players moving the ball quite well. El getting some movement here from the world number one, trying to see how rusty, how fit he is. But look at that for a drive, trickle boast. He's caught well on his heels. And that's a quality shot. And then another good drop there from Amir. Difficult to lift that. He broke away very quickly here for game ball.
Yeah, a couple of unplayable shots from the current world champion.
I wonder if he just cracked that racket when he smacked himself on the side of the leg.
10-5 game ball.
I think the other mention here is this court's playing quite dead as well, Chris. It doesn't really look like it's particularly bouncy. Players aren't hitting the ball particularly hard, so it's difficult to get continuity going in the rallies as well. Mia trying to finish it off quickly after the break.
And out.
No call from the referee, so Amir was questioning whether the ball was up.
6-10.
And again, first chance of the ball going in short from El Hindi. It goes in there. Cross-court nick. A little bit too predictable at the moment. Oh, it was a cracking forehand. Predictable as that might have been, the quality was there.
7-10 game ball.
But again, 10-7 down. You don't have to worry too much. Oh, nice hold. Good serve. Force the boast.
More like it from El Hindi, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit more intent. A little bit more quality in decision making. Again, there's a little bit more punch on the drive.
Stroke.
Somebody in the crowd yelling out stroke. El Hindi wanted a stroke.
Game ball.
Here we see it. See the punch on the drive there, Chris? Had a little bit more weight on it. Loose ball from El Hindi. Oh, sorry, from Almir, and that is a stroke. Impeded his backswing. 9-10.
Yeah. Out of nowhere, he's back in it.
Yeah, it is out of nowhere as well.
Couple of good shots. Loose shot from Amir, and he's at 10-9.
Game Shabana 11-9.
But Shabana takes that 11-9, and they've both been tight, but Shabana finds himself 2-0 up. Here's that last point. And a mistake from El Hindi. Shabana the winner. Game 3 then. El Hindi with his nose in front at 4-2. Well, most of the entertainment for the crowd in the first two games, particularly in that second game, came from the little interjections between the points. But the quality did pick up a little bit at the end of that second. El Hindi, I think, realises that he's got to play at his best, even against a slightly rusty Amir Shabana, if he's to get anything out of this.
But certainly in this third game, Chris, there is an intent. He's 2-love down. It really is make or break time. He has to try and force the issue a little bit more with a bit more weight of shot. Try to make some decisions that are going to cause some problems. I just felt in the first two, being cagey is all well and good, but if you're not really dominating the rallies or winning the rallies, the tactic is clearly not going to work. I think towards the end of the second game, he started to hit the ball with a bit more weight. Started to look to impose himself onto the ball, get onto the ball a little bit quicker. Oh, it was a good dive there from Amir. Another good guess. Oh, he's good at guessing or he's good at reading, one or the other.
It's just instinct, I think, isn't it?
It is. He seems to move into the right areas here. He was lucky there, El. Great dive. And he just picked the side.
When he's down on the floor then, Shabana, his head never dropped, did it? He was looking at that ball all the time.
And those are the type of rallies that I sort of half expected these two players to put together regularly. They're so good with their racket skills, so much imagination. Quick onto the ball. Oh, nice little nick there. Not up there from Amir.
5-3.
And again, very proactive rally there from the underdog. The crowd is certainly cheering on El Hindi. And again, the person in the crowd is yelling out. Amir's asking them to be quiet, and rightly so. Another winning shot from El Hindi. Here we go. I think he's made his point.
And fair enough too.
Yeah, we've heard the person in the crowd a few times yelling out the decision before the referee has made it. And basically the referee's made that same decision as well. I'm not saying they're influenced, but I think as a player it would be quite annoying to hear that. But all credit to El Hindi. I've been impressed with how he's played this third game. There's so much more intent in his movement. He's looking for the ball. There's more weight on the shot. Obviously he tried to slow the game down in the early stages. It's not working. These are the type of rallies. Good rally from both players.
Well, this pair have been around for a while now. It's 9 years since Amir Shabana took his first PSA Tour victory. It was in Mexico, 1999. The year after that, while El Hindi won his first tournament. 28, the world number 1, while El Hindi is currently the world number 10. Has had a highest ranking of 9th. It's just a few months younger than Shabana. And 4 Egyptians making it through to the semi-finals. 4 Egyptians in the world top 10 at the moment, including numbers 1, who you know all about, and number 2, Rami Ashur, who we're going to see in the second semi-final.
Yeah, there's a domination going on, isn't there? And I can tell everyone out there there's a lot of very good Egyptian juniors flying around in boys and girls in all age groups. So I think it may continue for a long, long time. We've got the best one at the moment here in Amir. And they'll have to be pretty good to be better than him in the future. And that's been waiting to come. Almost a stroke the previous rally. Both players are now taking the ball in short. It's a bit of a shootout. In it goes. And Amir went for the big counter drop and just didn't work. Sat up. And again off the serve. Oh, that's a great dig. Little dig, a little block. Here we see it. Does he get the racket under? Yeah, I'm happy with that.
A lot of finger wagging going on from this.
There is, yeah. I wouldn't say the game's got a great deal of continuity, but certainly the quality going forward is better. Amir's not particularly patient at the moment. He's pretty much shunted everything to the front of the court unsuccessfully, and he finds himself game ball down. Return a serve again, short.
Your ball was down, Mr. El Hindi. We agreed it was down. I am sure. And so is this side.
Let's have a look.
Wow, this was that ball's good. Amir went for another drop here. El backs up. This is the one they're talking about. Oh, I wouldn't say that was too bad.
I think he got it. Amir saying nothing.
Well, I'm not sure that all the respect that they had early on is
Game ball.
as strong as it is now. I think he's called it.
Yep, Shabana, fair play. Al Hindi takes the third. It's 2-1. Well, it was tight in the first. The scoreline in the second suggested it was tighter than it really was, because Shabana controlled that one pretty much. But then a good return from Wael El Hindi, changing his tactics, being more aggressive, and he won that one. But Shabana didn't look to be on full pelt. We would have thought he would have liked to have wrapped it up 3 love, but once El Hindi got a few points ahead and got towards the game ball, Shabana seemed to give it away to some extent.
Yeah, he did, and he's come out in this 4th game and he's looking fiery, and really I think it's an attitude situation. For whatever reason, he's in and out mentally.
And out 2-3.
Doesn't have the same presence about him in the previous 3 games, in my opinion. But in this 4th game, I think he's come out to try and finish the job off.
So would there ever be a point where you're quite far behind in a game, and it's just not worth fighting and using all your energy to try and get back in that game, just give it away and then try and come back in the next one?
Well, I think that depends on how tired you are. You work the odds out. Is it worth expending all my energy and having none left? Or am I better off giving this game up and saving and going for the 4th or the 5th game? And I think in the 3rd game, it wasn't a case of tired. I think it was more of a case of, I don't really fancy this comeback. I'll put it all into the 4th game from Amir. But look at the body language from both players now. That's the type of tempo, movement, aggression. We didn't see that towards the end of the 3rd game from Amir.
3-all from the right.
And this is better. We didn't really see it in the first 2 games, really, because El would like to slow the ball down. Amir was happy with that. Because now the tempo is a little bit more akin to the type of squash that the World Tour is offering. This is better stuff. Crowd love him. They like the humour.
3-all from the right.
He's got them on side all right.
He has, yeah. You just wonder whether you're better off playing this one, though, Chris. Go and play it. Amir's ducking out of the way. There's a chance to hit the ball there and create some more pressure. And the game's getting bitty. Can happen with El. He does have a tendency to not clear the line as well as some other players. Some people think it's a tactic. It could just be the way he moves.
It feels a bit like the first game, where he just seemed to be doing enough to try and hang on to Shabana, and the scoreline reflected that. But he never, ever really looked like winning that first game.
Well, exactly, and that's a great, that's a great sort of observation, because that's really what it felt like to me, and I'm pretty sure that's what it feels like to Amir as well. But there's more than one way to skin a cat, and quite often you see somebody win a match and you don't know really how they did it. And El has that ability to slow the game down and bring it back into his level. Very high level it may be.
If you take the game to Shabana, there is that chance you're going to get absolutely slaughtered, isn't there? But
yeah, very much so.
But why not? There's nothing to lose, really. He's in the semi-final. As far as he's got in a tournament like this, really, he's the underdog.
Well, exactly. But also, when he did slow it up, he was 2-love down. So, you can either continue on that and lose 3-0, or you can try and change your tactics and go a little bit quicker. This is certainly more pleasant to watch. It's a good rally again.
Wales already broken one racket, so...
No, he's got plenty, don't worry. Got a few in the bag, don't worry. Again, nice tight drop shot. Look how tight that is. That's tough. Just lost his footing, otherwise he would have still been in the rally. Mia's got his sense of humour back. He's 5-3 up. It's amazing how it comes back when you win in. Again, short off the serve from both players. So confident. Good decision.
6-3.
No complaints from El. He knew he couldn't get that. This court is taking a shot. It's not bouncing a lot when you get a good, quick, short ball in. There's some more dialogue.
6-3.
Again, Amir's doing a lot better this game, keeping the tempo up. searching for that forehand volley. Amir created that. Al Hindi has gone with him.
Down and out. 4-6.
At times it just gives me the impression as well, Chris, this match is like a Sunday morning at the Heliopolis Club in Cairo. It's a run out for both players, and it hasn't got that much on it. No, that's not the case, but...
Flat 4-6 from the left.
It has felt a bit like an exhibition match at times. They both seem pretty laid back and happy and jovial.
Yeah, I mean, there's another look. You know, this is all... There's a little bit of a resignation from both.
4-6.
Normally that's only from the player that's losing.
Well, an exhibition match, but without some of the quality, unfortunately.
Well, what happens with exhibition
Black,
matches is
4-6
both players
from the
get
left.
paid. Doesn't really matter who wins or loses, it's just the entertainment value. Here, I can guarantee you somebody's going to get more money than the other one and more ranking points. I'm sure we won't see that same in the other semi-final coming up.
7-4.
Again, another let. Game is very bitty again. Both players playing straight.
No, you've not. You weren't going to get that one, Mr. Elhindi. Please go back on the court and play the game.
Here we see
7-4.
decision from the referee. We can judge. I don't think he's getting that one.
No.
I think you take Amir away from the equation there, the ball's too good. And it's another good decision for the referee. He's done a pretty good job, I have to say. Oh, that's gone. That's gone underground. That one was so much in the neck. Here we see it. Bang.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Flattens it right off.
He does. Oh, I think he's wants to go and have a shower now. Is that enough? L goes for the cross-court equivalent.
Shabana,
And that was a
9-4.
poor result and a stroke. Ball's very high, I'm saying. Here we see the
9-4.
replay again. Look how high that is. He took it back on him, but rightly so. Ball's in the middle of the court. Again, aggressive from Amir on the volley and on the cross-court. And another cross-court. Oh, this is better. Little fan ball.
He's just buying himself some time with some of these shots, but he's very much defending at the moment.
Yeah, but with pace and with skill, which is great to see.
That's the best rally of this game, for sure.
Probably the best rally of the match, really. He's got the door open again. Hope the hinges are right. He's just telling the referee that he's picking everything up.
9-4 from
That's
the
a tough
right.
shot to
Yes,
volley
left.
it off the side wall. Think he play a stroke? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was a stroke from the referee to take it to 9-4.
Flat 9-4 from the right.
5 behind. Big ask now for El Hindi.
Down and
Well,
out.
that seems the only way he's really going to get back in, and is if Amir lets him.
5-9.
Being very aggressive, but a lot more purpose with his short balls. A lot more intent, more focus.
If this was to go to a 5th game, I think we finally see a bit of a fight from this pair. Real fight.
I'd be surprised if it goes to 5. Again, more chat, breaking up somebody's concentration. I'm not sure which one it is. It is very, very unusual in such a big match to have so much banter amongst two players. Again, good aggression from El Hindi this time on the tee. More weight on his shot. Good exchange there. Oh, another read. Reading that cross-court ball. Before it's already hit, he's moving into the line. Again, replay of it. Just steps across, makes himself wide, and jumps out of the way, Chris, to make sure that El Hindi's got access so that it's no let. And that was a really clever move.
Down and out.
He had the shower gel on then. He was gone.
6-10.
It says it all about this game, doesn't it? Flashes of brilliance and flashes to deceive. But Shabana has got several match points here.
And he's going to try and win it by off the serve by the look of things. Well, he's a cool customer. I'd be shaken by now if I'd knocked 2 on the tin, I have to say. He's still standing up waiting for the next one.
It's fair to say he's got a bit of confidence these days.
Yes, let. 7-10 from the right, match ball.
Everything's got an edge to it with the decision from the referee, who's done a fantastic job, I have to say.
I saw your hand go up. Can we have a decision, please?
The 3 referee system.
I saw his hand go up before he went to the ball, so I'm
Let's see.
indicating he wants to let 7-10 from the right, match ball.
I'll tell you what, that's tight. If it goes up, I suppose if it goes up, he has to play a let because the hand did go up. So another good decision from the 3 referees.
And at match ball as well, so that might...
Yeah, always
slightly
there on the
influenced.
side of caution with the match ball. You don't want to sort of be too controversial in those situations. Again, Amir's on the attack. Oh, soft ending.
Yeah, well, El Hindi not at his best. Felt he could have taken the game, the match to Amir Shabana a little bit more, but the world number 1 goes through. Not really tested. Flashes of brilliance from the pair of them. Amir Shabana will go through to the final here in Canada, where he'll meet either Rami Ashur or Karim Darwish.
So Amir Shabana guarantees himself a place in the final. Who he meets there will be decided in semi-final number 2. Darwish meets Rami Ashur. Join us for that next time around.